endurance athlete until I learned about David Goggins. When you talk about ultra mega endurance, this guy's the man. He's a world champion ultra-marathon runner, ultra-distance cyclist, triathlete, world record holder for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. He's a former United States Navy SEAL and former Air Force Tactical Air Control Party. He took part in the War of Afghanistan 2001 to the present and the Iraqi War. Most importantly, the component that makes him so important for what we want to do, which is mentoring, charitable work, and showing and raising things and paying it forward. He raised money for Special Operations Warrior Foundation. This foundation gives college scholarships and grants to children of fallen Special Operations officers and soldiers. He has raised over $2 million himself for this charity. David has competed in numerous long-distance running events over 100 times in these ultra marathons. He beat the previous record by 20 miles with a total distance of 203.5 miles, earning him a spot among the top 20 ultra marathoners in the world. In 2008, he was named the hero of running by Runner's World. His self-help memoir, Can't Hurt Me, was released in December of 2018, and we had some of Arnold's security guys who were going crazy knowing that you're going to be here to get the book signed by you. He was the subject of the book Living with a SEAL. He completed and broke the world record for the most pull-ups done in 24 hours, completing 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours. Let's give it up for David Goggins. Somebody switched medals on me. I know it. I'm off. But I don't want to stab him after all that mile.
Well, this is a huge honor for me. I'm extremely shocked. I want to thank Doc. Thank you so much, Arnold. It's a huge honor to be sitting here and alongside with you. When I was younger, I watched so many of your movies and felt like I was this big. Literally, not because of your size, but because of your courage and how you approach things in life. Fairfax, I don't know what to say, man. You literally, no one would know me up here if you didn't, say, hey, there's this guy out here who's doing things way under the rug. So for me, I'm not a very known athlete. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm an underground athlete. I didn't do anything to accept these amazing awards. I did it because basically I grew up very tough life. Lived in a horrible place, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Got beat down so bad by my father that he beat the courage and strength out of me. So I had to find a way to kind of get it back. And how I did that was literally examining my soul. So in doing that, I started looking for the most uncommon people in the world. So it brought me into special operations, from the Air Force to the SEALs to Rangers. And along the way, I started realizing how powerful the mind truly is and how little we use of it. So when I was getting beat down, I thought I was nothing. I thought I was the lowest form on earth. And to develop my mindset, what I did was I started joining special operations unit, looking for these courageous men. And I found them. And when I found them, I started realizing that it's all in your head. The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. And my conversation was a bad one. So the people who I thought were up here in my life, these uncommon men, I was putting myself down here. But over a period of time, I started realizing that I'm also uncommon. And I started pissing those uncommon men off by realizing that we all have this ability in our mind. So I'm going to leave you with this one short story. It goes all over the place. I was 175 pounds, went to 300 pounds, lost 106 pounds to join the Navy SEALs in about 3 months. So I lost that weight really quick, got in the door. Went through 3 hell weeks, finally got through Navy SEAL training, graduated, went on the Ranger School, so on and so forth. This is what kind of put me on the map as far as ultra running goes. You guys are, some of you are familiar with the story Lone Survivor, Marcus Luttrell. He's a really good friend of mine. If you're not, please get the book Lone Survivor. I gained about 50 pounds back. I was about 250 pounds. This is a story about the mind. I'll go through it real quick. So I didn't put running shoes on for about 9 months, 10 months. I was overseas deploying, came back with the free fall school. I was at military free fall school with Morgan Luttrell, Marcus Luttrell's twin brother. We got the news that an incident happened where everybody died and they couldn't find Marcus Luttrell. So I got the call, and my job was to tell Morgan Luttrell, his twin brother, who was also a Navy SEAL, that his brother might be dead. 4 days later, they found Marcus Luttrell alive. What I did was I went online, Googled, different events. This event came up called the Badwater 135, 135-mile race through Death Valley in the summertime. I didn't know that was even humanly possible to run that far. I thought it was a stage race. I thought you'd put your shoes on, ran 15 miles, set up a barbecue, camped out, and then did it again the next day. It was a 40-hour race. I went out there and basically to raise money for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. So I called this guy up named Chris Kosman. Chris Kosman was a race director. He said to me, basically, you have to run 100 miles in 24 hours or less to qualify. I never run past 20 miles in my entire life, and up until now, I probably ran 20 miles this entire year. So he says, I call him up on a Wednesday. He says, you know what, there's a race on Saturday, and if you run 100 miles in 24 hours, I will consider you in my race. So I wasn't real smart growing up, and obviously I wasn't real smart right now. So I did the math like less than 15-minute miles. I said, I can walk this. Dumbest decision I made in my entire life. Went out there about 250 pounds, and I get to mile 50. It's in San Diego, November. So on a 1-mile track, where you go as many times as you can around 1-mile track for 24 hours. I get to mile 50 in about 12, 13 hours. I sit down. I sit in this blue lawn chair. I saw my ex-wife every single mile. I got Ritz crackers and Mileplex with my nutrition. I was a musclehead, so I drank a lot of Mileplex back then. So basically, here I am drinking Mileplex, Ritz crackers. By mile 70, I haven't gone to the bathroom one time, no water. That Mileplex tastes like hell, and the Ritz cracker is a ball in my mouth. This is where I really realized that, so I'm already a Navy SEAL. This is when I realized that we only use 40% of our mind. This is when I started going crazy with mindset and being a scientist of the mind. We go, I'm at mile 70, I look at my ex-wife, when you sit down and I have to go in the bathroom for 12 hours, what must you do? Go to the bathroom. So I sit down, and I look at her. It's the farthest I've ever gone in my entire life. 7 miles, I'm happy, I'm feeling good. And I can't get up to go to the bathroom. It's literally from me to end the stage. So I look at her, and I said, honey, do you love me? She goes, why? I go, because I can't stand up. My blood pressure's all messed up. I go, I'm taking a shit on myself right now. So I went back on my back, and I started peeing blood down my leg. And my ex-wife's like, oh my God, you got to stop. This is when I realized throughout my whole life, all the bad times, all the good times, I'm not going to quit yet. Let me get better. Let me fix my blood pressure. Let me get some potassium, sodium, nutrition in my body. Let me see if I can fix myself. So I said, if I can just walk 1 more mile after being in the worst shape of my entire life, this would change everything for me mentally going forward. From this kid who came from dirt, nothing, who couldn't read until he was a junior in high school, and is now here. I walked a mile. I said, maybe I can walk 1 more mile. Maybe I can walk another mile. At mile 81, my ex-wife looked at me and said, you're not going to make the time. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, and this is what I found out. This is my 40% rule. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, your body will adapt to whatever is in front of it. I ended up running 20 more miles. I did 101 miles in 19 hours and 6 minutes. And that one day changed, 19 hours. It wasn't SEAL training, it wasn't Ranger School, it wasn't Delta Force, it wasn't any of that crap I went through. It was this 19 hours and 6 minutes that forever changed my life, to know that we as human beings are capable of anything. And we don't need any special kind of parents or tools to get there. So I end you with this. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Thank you very much.